One of the things that the Camino does is put you face to face with people and events that are so different to yours. I've had this adventure on my bucket list for some time. Come join us on our way to Santiago de Compostela, Part 2. In case you missed it, there is a link in the description for Part 1, Porto in Portugal to Tui in Spain. We made it across the border from Portugal to Tui in Spain. Unfortunately, Sandy contracted COVID here, so she rested while we enjoyed the sights of Tui. Before we go forward, a quick mention on how we got here. In 2017, we did the French route from Saint-Jean-de-la-Pont in France, across Spain to Santiago, then on to Murcia and Finisterre. And then 2 years later from Saint Sebastian to Santiago by bicycle. Fast forward, 8 days from Porto, we are now in Tui, where we started our next leg to Santiago de Compostela.
We're not sure what day, 10, 11, something like that. We had a couple days here, 3 nights at this albergue in the attic, and we're in Tui, Spain, and we are just about to head out. Who knows how far we'll go today.
As you can see around us is quite historical. We have the church right beside us. Which way are we going? You sure? You see the scallop shell everywhere. The most iconic symbol of the St. James Way. This was one of the ways to call people's attention to their presence on the Camino. Nowadays it is very common to see pilgrims with this symbolic element on their backpacks.
Down the alternative route because we don't want to walk through an industrial park. So this one's nice along the river, and it only adds about 700 meters to our walk, so total be in. Here we are, day 12. We're in O Porriño, about to leave. We were in this nice Airbnb. That's just the mailboxes. We've already left the apartment and we're heading out.
That's a shame.
And
Nice
about to get back on the trail. Number 13. Okay, Buen Camino.
We've reached another milestone. We have 100 kilometers left to Santiago. We've just left O Porriño, the ambition of doing somewhere in the vicinity of 15 to 20 kilometers today. The it's overcast. It seems like it's going to rain, but it probably won't. And we're enjoying it. We've just come across a group of 5 Portuguese women that are having a time of their lives. At the moment, I can't see anyone in front of us. Previously going through town, there was probably about a dozen people that we could see. Still enjoying it. Sandy's on the mend. Looking forward to the rest of the trip, but a little bit apprehensive in that the end is near. The journey's been quite good and it's gone so quickly.
We started here. We've only gone this far.
Yeah, we just come up to the town of Moss. There's a little bit of a pedestrian thoroughfare through here. Souvenir shops where you can get your stamp, and hopefully where we can get some coffee. I think it's supposed to mean slow down, or you could get into an accident. The woman who runs the accommodation also appears to run the nearby restaurant. The small one-star pension, which is located on a busy road, admittedly had a small room, but had excellent views of the bay and the bridge. It's funny that the little things at the end of the day, like a glass of wine, can relieve your aches and pains. Occasionally, as you walk along the Camino, you come across people selling items and giving out stamps. This was a perfect opportunity for Kathy to buy some earrings. The stunning reflections on the calm Verdugo River set the perfect backdrop for our midway point to Pontevedra. In the distance, we could hear some music. We didn't really know what to expect. Portugal. The main route continues on a minor road for several kilometres. However, if you take a left and follow the river walk, it's a more pleasurable alternative. We settled on the hotel and restaurant ruas after finding many albergues and hotels full. This became more common as you get closer to Santiago. This simple one-star hotel gets exceptional reviews and is close to the Plaza de la Lena.
Day 14. We're about to leave Hotel Ruas. We are in Pontevedra, and we've got another couple of days walking before we get to Santiago. We're nearly there.
We just started our walk and we come across an entire wall covered in scallop shells. 3 kilometers out of town, you come to a decision. To the left, the spiritual route, or as we did, to the right, the Portuguese. The route alternates between sections of trail, track and paved paths. It's not often you see the caballeros ride through town.
It's day 15 of our Camino, and we're about to head out of Caldas Garis, and we're almost to Santiago.
Here we are walking. We've got about 42 kilometers left. Just left Caldas de Res, and we've come across probably the most amount of pilgrims or peregrinos. A combination of cyclists and walkers. There's probably about a dozen in front and probably about a couple of dozen behind. Quite a nice temperature. It's probably about 18 or so. Midway right on the Camino, opposite the church of Saint Miguel Valga, we decided to rest and get a bite to eat. This self-service vegetarian-friendly place attracts many pilgrims. Look out for the padron peppers. Most people choose padron for their final night before walking on to Santiago. We, however, went 6 kilometers further to Pension Glorioso number 2, so that tomorrow's walk would be more leisurely.
Day 16, our final day, going into Santiago today. So we're just leaving Hostel Glorioso, and this is it, Buen Camino. 15,680.
You don't go on the Portuguese Camino to see it. You go to experience it. The soreness and all.
Porto.
Nosotros Porto también.
Porto.
Yeah. Perfecto.
Perfecto.
Vai fica. It's Porto.
Sporting, Ronaldo the best.
Oh, you're talking about football?
Yes, Sporting.
You don't go on the Camino to see it. You go to taste it, to meet new people, to laugh and to cry. You go to connect yourself with yourself, to work out the things that remain in your head, and to eventually have a better understanding that there are different paths and that no two paths are the same.
We've just arrived in Santiago. The cathedral is behind me, and it's very crowded compared to the last time I was here.
We made it.
Nice and sunny.
Okay, Santiago de Compostela with the name in Latin